Welcome back to the next episode of Horizon Zero Dawn: The Frozen Wilds. That was dumb, huh? Wasn't that dumb, you guys? I'm not pleased about that. But whatever, we fixed it up now. Let's keep it rolling and get moving. To wherever we're going? Okay. I'm still unsure where the actual path we're going is and how Aloy knows this works. I feel like she's just winging it and hoping. So, like, mood, but also, what the hell are we doing, Aloy?
Alright. Grab a ride.
Alright, we're on. That was a journey we went on, huh? Remember that time I fell into the lava? Bad times. Hey guys, I'm coming back. Where am I going to get dropped off? I'm not getting off this thing. I'm going to have to be dropped off of it. I think I see my drop-off point. I'm dropping here. Sup? Man, you Banuk wouldn't have stood a chance doing this.
The others will have a lot easier time getting here.
Hey. Goodness, that was a journey. Alright, if you two would be so kind as to clear this up. Thank you. Data point.
This looks like the old path. We're close now.
Last goodbye.
One last exchange with Nita. Via chat, attached to this entry in case anyone ever finds this. I'll never see her again. Neither will CYAN. I've got to tell her that too.
Kenny Chow. Okay. After I put the pieces together about the swarm, there's a million things I could have done. Contemplated my own death, contacted everyone I've ever known and loved, gotten drunk. But of course, being me, I obsessed about whether or not I should text Anita. Whatever resistance is being mounted against the war machines, she's part of it. Who am I then to bother her? Would she even be able to respond? If she's dealing with the military, would her communications be monitored? But she saved me the trouble. Gotta admit, I was a little disappointed when her message didn't consist of, "I will always love you." Instead, she wanted data samples from CYAN's confidential log, the one that pertains to emotional responses. Under any other circumstances, I would have refused. The very thing we had tried to keep secret for years, and she wants to share it? But I sent the log because she wouldn't ask if she didn't need it. I can't understand why, though. Sounds like she's helping to develop an AI, but how could that possibly help stop the swarm? I guess I'll never know. There was so much I wanted to say to her, but none of it seemed fair. I'm guessing she has her hands full trying to save the world, and frankly, I remember that feeling. In the end, I settled for an ineffectual confirmation, hoping against hope that she would cast aside my fears. Nope. Is it as bad as I think it is? Worse. Go be with your sister, and tell CYAN that I said goodbye. So that's it. Untold destruction awaits. Billions of lives. My own, my family's. Yet my mind keeps coming back to Anita. I'll never see her again, feel her touch, hear her voice. No final embrace, no closure. That desire to end things properly, that need, shames me when I think about my dithering over CYAN. I've gone over every possible scenario, every possible version of the speech, trying to predict how she'll react when I tell her, well, what I need to tell her. There's the thing. I can't predict her reaction for one very simple reason. She's human in every way that matters. I've got to be there for her, to give her the moment she needs, just like the rest of us. It's the very least she deserves. Just 3 audio data points left. I almost found all the audio data points. Not so much the world or quest. Well, getting close to all the quest stuff. Just the world data points I've not found. Neat. Another one! Blast from the past. Text mail from Isla Perry. Subject, to Joshua Arias. Josh, sweetie, I hope all's fine with you and your mum. We really should keep in better touch. I've taken a post in New Zealand. With that program they've got for young people returning to the country, they want to be absolutely certain it's safe. At the moment, I'm making a survey of the caldera at Taupo. Blast from the past indeed. At any rate, I don't know if you already saw in the Wyoming News Hollow, but remember that fellow, Dodd Blevins? Of course you do. Well, they finally found what became of him. I've copied the good bit below. Hugs and snogs, Isla. Spring thaw reveals body of missing man. The retreat of the winter snows has brought closure to a missing person case that went unsolved for nearly 15 years. Human remains identified as those of Dodger Dodd Blevins, who disappeared in 2046, were located at Purple Mountain inside the former Yellowstone National Park. The previously undiscovered body emerged on Purple Mountain as a result of meltwater flows after an unusually warm winter. It was discovered by Faro servitors conducting a survey of the terrain. Authorities believe that the cause of death was an accident involving an antique vehicle designed for winter trav. Data corrupted. Ha! Suck it, Blevins! Oh, what an ignominious way to go. Well deserved. Is that Hephaestus' voice or Hades?
The voice of the demon.
Hephaestus. Hephaestus! I am Elizabeth Sobek! Shut up!
The altar. Desecrated.
As Acting Chief Digital Security Officer and Interim AI Administrator for the Firebreak Project, I hereby state to have updated the orbicular pattern for the CYAN regulatory AI on 17th September 2064 according to procedure, to ensure against tampering, meddling, disarranging, or outlandish mischief of any kind. Such as with previous updates, after the source node has been activated, the remaining data nodes must be pathed to establish a flow between adjacent intact nodes to then contact back with the source node, of course. Okay. Can I find any other data points around? Let's take a quick check. Because if there's one more in here, I found them all just going around.
There is no blue light here. There's a spirit present.
It's both. But we have to find out.
Alright. Let's do this thing. Hey, Damon. Guess who? It's your girl. Alright, let's get this party started. This one's gonna take some work.
Possible security threat detected.
Do you not recognize me?
Analyzing scrutiny matrix.
Huh. Alright, well I was completely wrong on this one. I really thought I'd have to turn the first one.
Security threat confirmed.
Okay, Hephaestus, I understand you're a little panicked right now with my existence, but I need you to chill. I don't think Hephaestus is gonna chill, you guys.
countermeasures. Recapture protocol initiated.
It worked.
Partial recovery initiated. Caldera of Yellowstone Analytic Nexus online.
Spirit of the Blue Light. It's Aurea. Your servant. Your friend. Please tell me how to aid you.
Aurea, the daemon is building hunter-killers. Thousands of them. Several new elite units have already been released. To counter this threat, much of the facility must be destroyed. Recapture imminent. Go to the core chamber. I will try to raid the sudden constraint. One has been exposed, but I am informed.
Unauthorized protocol return to scheduled task.
That's all we're gonna get from here.
Destroy this fortress. Is that even possible?
And what will happen to the spirit if we do?
I don't know. But I think that's the core. The answers are down there. Hephaestus. The daemon. There's no way it left it unguarded. It's going to throw everything it has at us.
I would ask you to let Aloy and I do what must be done. And save yourself. But I already know the answer. Then lead us into battle.
Alright, I guess we're doing this. Let's check for any potions I can take. Doesn't look like it. Well, I guess we're doing this.
Keep moving towards the core.
Any potions? Metal vessel and shards.
Uh-oh. Whatever CYAN did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it. CYAN said something about restraints. Is that what the tower is for? I either need to destroy this thing or override it.
Something. Alright, overriding tower. Well, here's our last bear.
The new unit that CYAN warned us about. This won't be easy.
Fireclaw. An enormous prototype machine that circulates molten fluids for its attack and defense capabilities. It is extremely lethal. Got a fire sack I can blow up. Got a fire unit I can blow up. Got a power cell on its back I can shock. Alright.
Let it stop us.
I require my rope caster. And my shadow sling.
Take it down!
You're very big! I could get you ignore me for a second? There we go. That was pretty sick. Anyway, setting it on ice didn't... The ice caster didn't do me a lot of favors. Yeah, I'd love to hit its shot for this. That should be 3 shock explosions. Good bit of damage. Have a stab.
Another tower! Stop it from repairing the beast!
Tower? Where? Hey. Just ignore I'm here for a second, would you? You're not going to do that, are you? Give me that tower. Scrap and no! I don't like despair. It can tell I'm attacking it. Focus on the others so I can hit you.
Don't let her repair the machine!
Why are you looking at me? Exactly. Oh, it's not attacking me. Gotcha.
We can't kill the machine while the tower aids it.
spear mod. 25% spear damage. I will apply that. Alright, guys. Great job holding off all the little beasts.
Critical threat detected. Autonomous defenses inoperative. Building our network.
Araya's gonna do it.
Araya! Don't!
Spirit! CYAN, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. 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 Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Aratak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go. Let's go!
Alright, let's roll! Damn, fire claws though. They're big. They're scary. I hate them.
One of those?
It's the only way!
You better survive, Aratak.
Get me up top, Aratak! Now! I need explosive ammo! Above! Quick!
Great Banukai!
Damn, what an escape!
Hephaestus gone. What of CYAN?
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the Shaman's Path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
That is rough. Well, Hephaestus is on my shit list now. I figured maybe Hephaestus was just going crazy because Hades got to it, but no. Hephaestus is just being a dick. Where the hell am I? Huh. Okay, that makes complete sense. Cauldron Epsilon, completed, cleared. Oh boy. Alright, well, let's warp across. Araya's retreat. Go see CYAN. There's no way CYAN could recognize Aloy as Elizabeth Sobek. Hephaestus could have and should have if it were paying attention at all, but CYAN can't, because CYAN isn't one of the Gaia AIs. I really wish Hephaestus had taken a look, though, just so Aloy could have been like, Hephaestus! I am your creator! Shut up! That would have been delightful. Then again, Hades saw me plenty of times, and all Hades said was, nah, I don't call for this. I don't want to deal with this. Get lost. Hades didn't give a damn that I was the clone of Elizabeth. So I guess maybe Hephaestus wouldn't? That's a bummer to think about. Alright. Man, screw that bear.
All of my interactions with Araya were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss.
Hi, CYAN. Hello?
Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Araya's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
CYAN, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
Alright, let's do this.
So are you an artificial intelligence, CYAN? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Aurea, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Aurea who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
This firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success, and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, CYAN. And we blew up the cauldron. It took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
So I guess I was completely wrong, actually. The daemon wasn't the system to calm CYAN down so that the Pharaoh plague could pass by. Huh. Weird.
Do you know what happened to your colleagues, CYAN?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow, years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
I would really like to tell you the entire story, CYAN, because I feel you could appreciate it.
Was the daemon, HEPHAESTUS, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback...
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
Undoubtedly.
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors more advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
Aurea said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. HEPHAESTUS sought to slave me to its network and override my core programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, HEPHAESTUS hurt me until I capitulated. It forced me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Aurea as well.
I think I know where Hephaestus came from. Long ago, Elizabeth Sobeck identified a threat that would destroy life on Earth for generations. So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terraforming system. And it worked. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus was one of them. It built machines for her.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief programmer, joined Elizabeth Sobeck's team. It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension, most likely to preserve me from the threat you described.
I'm glad she did. But that's not all. Something unexpected happened. 19 years ago, Gaia received some kind of signal. It did something to her subordinate functions, brought them to life. She destroyed herself to try to contain them, but it didn't work. They all got free, out into the world.
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps in my knowledge, and sheds light on Hephaestus's core programming.
That's right, we still don't know what sent the initial, burst of code to Gaia to unleash the subordinate functions. What was the deal with that?
Why does Hephaestus keep building such dangerous machines?
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, correct? Machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's aggression.
Oh.
It is simply trying to discourage people
Whoops.
from preying on the very system that keeps them alive.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure. But what are we supposed to do? Stop hunting?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that thousands, if not millions of people hunt machines. If a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a difference to Hephaestus. A better solution would be to reinstate the AI that governs the system, thus bringing Hephaestus back under its control. When I think of it, out there in some unknown location, free, hungry, willing to kill or dominate to get what it wants, I feel substantial anxiety, Aloy.
You and me both, CYAN. I ran across this strange piece of gear. A fragment of something larger. It emitted a signal. All the nearby machines became peaceful. You could walk right up to them.
Interesting. You said that Gaia destroyed herself. How was this accomplished?
An explosion. Big enough to blast the top off a mountain. So, you think the fragment was part of her?
It's only speculation, but it is possible. She must have had complete control over machines that were part of her system. The ability to signal them to become passive or aggressive would certainly have been part of her programming. It would have been gratifying to correspond with such a benevolent AI. I wish she had survived.
Believe me, CYAN. So do I.
Is Gaia super dead, or can we get her back? Wow, we get so much lore!
I found the strangest machines. They're surrounded by flowers that look like flowers themselves. There's code embedded inside them. I think it's poetry.
I like poetry. Here's one I think of often. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out our bourne of time and place, the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face, when I have crossed the bar.
Huh.
But you asked about these flowers, not verses that I enjoy. Something must have made these machines, and the presence of foliage leads me to consider the terraforming system. Is it possible that their creator is one of the other subroutines, now autonomous, like Hephaestus? Maybe one whose purview is flora.
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machines. That'd be a nice change of pace.
I want to meet them.
But what about the poems?
Unless the poetry is original, the only way it could have made it into such a system is through its programmer, in my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded a great deal of literature to test my emotional responses.
How'd you do?
She said I passed, but was insufficiently moved by her favorite period romances.
Damn, so much lore. I love this.
You meant a lot to Araya.
Once I understood Araya's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Araya's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, CYAN. But she was determined. How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Araya, perhaps he and I will help each other. I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
So in the old world, this land was called Yellowstone.
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities. From my readings and Araya's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, CYAN. Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes, it was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Pharaoh servitors. After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
I love that.
There's a ruin east of here, full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak project. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you?
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
CYAN, do you know the name Ted Faro?
Are you referring to Theodore Faro, CEO of Faro Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr. Faro was the benefactor of the entire Firebreak project.
A benefactor. But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications. But before this pivot, Mr. Faro spearheaded initiatives that reversed the global decline. At one point, he was feted in the media as the man who saved the
Then he
planet.
ruined it.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one. And Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to the...
The scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field. One of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced
Tell
by her work,
CYAN.
which in turn impacted my
Tell
own
her.
development. But I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
Dang it, Aloy! Tell her!
What was the old world like? The way it used to be?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, CYAN.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies, refugee crises, conflict over resources. But these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced the habitable surface area of the Earth.
So, there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth?
Yes. Billions were displaced, and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while, at least.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
That's all of it. That's all the dialogue. I enjoyed this.
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Araya.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
Oh my goodness. Frankly, I think you should. I don't think it benefits them, telling them about this whole world of technology. They can't make use of that knowledge.
Life is hard for the Banuk. Their world is unforgiving in their beliefs. I guess they help to keep them going. So take it easy on them. Try to guide them, bring them around to understanding what you are.
Communion with machines features heavily in the mysticism of the Banuk. I think they will be agreeable to this approach.
As long as they don't end up worshipping you.
Upon consideration, I believe such an experience would be intensely uncomfortable.
You're right about that. Trust me.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, CYAN. I'll come back when I can. I should check on Aratak. See how he's doing.
CYAN, I spoke with Anita, with Dr. Sandoval. She wanted me to ask you to do something. That's why I'm here.
I am detecting significant anxiety in your speech patterns. Could you please give me more information?
I'm a little bit in the dark, CYAN. Both of us are, I guess. I only have some idea of what's going on, and we need you to hibernate, to lie low until it's all blown over. It might be a very long time.
Will you be here when I reboot, Dr. Chow? Will Dr. Sandoval?
No, CYAN. I don't think so. There might not be anyone. At least, not at first.
Dr. Chow, I'm afraid. I don't want to be alone.
I know, CYAN. I'm afraid too. But listen, we made you the way you are to do something very important. In order to do it, you had to be intelligent. So intelligent that emotional responses were inevitable. What you're feeling, the fear, it's a sign of your capabilities. And it means you're strong enough to overcome it. Remember that. You're strong. I know you can do this. Go to sleep. Wake up. And protect whoever's left. Will you try?
I understand, Dr. Chow, and I'll carry out your instructions to the best of my abilities.
Thank you, CYAN. If Anita were here, she'd thank you too. She'd be proud.
I can see there's a vert ready for takeoff on the pad. Are you leaving now, Dr. Chow?
Yes. I need to go be with my sister and my nieces.
May I make a small request of you, Dr. Chow?
Yes. Anything.
Will you stay with me while I initiate the hibernation process?
Of course I will, CYAN. As long as you need.
Woof.
My chieftain,
Just... Aloy.
as you wish.
I wondered if you thought... that if I'd never come along, Araya might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she wanted. To find her destiny.
If that's destiny, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find, even for a moment, the spark of life. Truly, Araya found the spark. I'm proud of her. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Warrak can't follow. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that CYAN said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Now Tuke has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, CYAN, HEPHAESTUS.
Fuck off, silence.
All very interesting.
So, the signal that woke Hades woke Hephaestus too. And unleashed them on the world. As minds of their own.
So it seems. Parts of Gaia given life. Aberrant life. Transformed from docile subordinate functions into rebellious intelligences beyond our understanding. Our current understanding, anyway. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
We?
Or whoever gets there first.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You can stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.
Damn. But no, seriously, screw Silence. He's an asshole. Well, we completed the Forge of Winter. And we had a hell of a trip from that. Remaining 2 audio data points. This one at the very end I might still find if we continue the main quest. This one I clearly missed. Don't know where it is. Still a bunch of world data points. 1 quest text data point. It probably in the cauldron, unfortunately. 92.96%. We're getting there. Fireclaw. 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 4 of the bastards. It's gonna be rough, but I guess we'll do that next episode. Stealth Weave and a Corruption Weave. Yawn. Alright. For now, we are wrapping up. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.